I got this question over on Twitter yesterday, and it got me thinking of what am I gonna do when Pulsex goes live? How do I want to approach that? And I thought I should make a video about it because you guys leave some awesome comments, and then I get some other ideas from that. So I think that there's around 7 different possibility sets that kind of capture all of the future futures. And we're going to run through all 7 of these and then talk in depth a little bit more about them. So selling, sitting on it, LP pools, staking on a protocol on Pulse, farming, and arbing. Each one of those is going to have a certain population set that it is attractive to, right? So I think that set of 7 things is going to be encompassing the vast majority, if not all, of the people in Pulsex. So, with that being said, if this is your first time here, well, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it is good to freaking see you. So this is from Crypto Honesty, Jamie LA. What is your best prediction for route to take straight out of the gate when Pulsechain goes live with Pulsex? So, I thought about this, right? Because I thought this was a very good question. Because I haven't thought about what I'm going to do, right? And as I thought about that, these 7 different strategies came to mind. The first is selling. With the community that is in Pulsex, and Hex, there's a lot of understanding that selling is, in the long run, is not a good strategy for building wealth, right? However, there's a giant portion of the population who wants to take advantage in the immediate, right? What's the word I'm looking for? But there's if somebody sacrificed $10,000 and they got 10 million tokens of PLSX, and the price comes out and it allows them to sell those tokens for $150,000. There is going to be a decent portion of the population set that will sell that, period. That's just what's going to happen. At the end, I'm going to probably give an idea of what I personally could see the price doing based upon what I've seen so far, but I could be 100% wrong. That's conjecture, but I'll do that at the end. There is going to probably be the largest set of people doing the next thing. So this is going to be just sitting there on their PLSX. When you look at these kinds of things, for myself, I want to understand, not just made up shit, but I'll use a reference to try to see if that relates to this. And when you look at anything in life, there's a giant fucking portion of the population who just sits there and doesn't do dick. So that's where that comes from, pretty simply. There's going to be a lot of people who just sit on their stuff and get scammed or get don't have any idea what they're doing and just let it sit there, right? That's going to be a large portion of the people. Providing liquidity. So let's come back to providing liquidity. So that's going to be one that we're going to come back to in a second. There's going to be validator pools. So the validators are validating the blocks. There's going to be 33 of them. And that's going to be one way to earn a yield, right? If you're not selling right away, you're not sitting on your shit, and you want to earn some money, providing liquidity is one option. And that is going to scare some people away because they hear impermanent loss and they don't fully understand impermanent loss, and so they will not ever provide liquidity because of that, what I just stated. So a liquidity pool is another way of going about doing that, and with this, you don't need to provide your keys or anything like that, right? So if you want to take your money out, your coins out, you can take your coins out. That's going to be an option that I think is probably going to be pretty interesting, because there's going to be some really good rates probably I would expect to start with. The next is this one, and this one, right, we don't know about this one yet. But staking on PLS, right? So there's probably going to be some protocol out there that allows you to use your PLSX on Pulse, right? There's probably going to be something coming. Is there anything out there yet that's in the works? I don't know. I don't know enough about the space yet. Yield farming. Now this one I'm not sure, and somebody who has more depth of the experience and of the knowledge in this can let me know in the comments. Validator pools are different in slight ways from yield farming. So I think that there's going to be people who are going to be getting into pools, and then there's going to be people who are yield farming. What are those differences? I don't fully understand yet, and that is where I'm turning to you guys to leave a comment down below to point me in the right direction on figuring this out. Or maybe when I'm on live, we go live every day. So if you want to follow along live, that's on my buddy's channel. That is number 6. Number 7, and this is going to be probably one of the most exciting areas, but it's also going to be one of the smallest areas, is arbing, right? Arbitrage. When something like this comes out, there is tremendous opportunity. There's going to be so much mispricing, at least in the relatively short term, several days up to maybe a month or two, maybe, I don't know. We don't really know, in honesty, but it's probably going to be a relatively short period of time, not like over the next year. There's going to be other strategies in arbitrage that take advantage of stuff over the next several years, yes. But in the immediate term, as soon as launch happens, there's going to be a massive, easily millions and millions of dollars made just like that for virtually doing nothing. And deploying relatively little capital that somebody can scale up very quickly who knows what they're doing. The percentage of the population set that is going to do this, I think, is probably less than 5%. So like 1/20th of all people are probably going to understand enough about arbitrage and be able to execute that themselves or set up a bot to go through and actually do this. But that is going to be a massively profitable thing to do if you knew how to do this. Are you using your PLSX to do that? Potentially, right? Potentially you're using that to trade with something. So I wanted to include that in here. But let's go back and talk about LPs. LPs, right? So if you're providing liquidity, you're going to provide this side of a pair and this side of a pair. And in PLSX, you're going to get rewarded in a incentive token, which we don't know much about the incentive token, other than it's called an incentive token, and it's going to be given to certain pairs in a certain ratio or rate, right? And who's going to determine that? Well, the people who get to vote on which pairs and how much is PLSX holders through a DAO, a decentralized organization, right? Decentralized autonomous organization. Now, when you put yourself in like the macro view, like what is somebody going to do when they're voting on this kind of thing? Well, they're going to probably try to help themselves or help themselves by indirectly helping the community in the sense that they're probably going to provide incentive tokens to pairs in the ecosystem. Pulsex, Pulsex and Hex, Pulsex and ePulse, Pulsex and did I say eHex? There's going to be multiple different ones like that. The Pulsex voting in the DAO on how much and which pairs to choose, I would think are going to be biased towards projects in Pulse or projects like in the ecosystem, Pulse, Hex, and Pulsechain, right? I wouldn't be surprised if all those go through. So when you're thinking about providing liquidity, if you provided liquidity in, one or two or multiple of these pairs, it could be pretty advantageous, even if one is taking on the risk of a permanent loss, if the incentive token is appealing enough. We don't know enough about that. So I would we'll have to find out more information. Hopefully that comes out soon, and how that's going to be structured, or how the incentive is going to work in there, right? Now, if you found this video interesting or helpful, take a second to share with somebody else who is in on Pulsex. What are your thoughts? Which one is most appealing to you, 1 through 7? Are you going to sell your shit? Are you going to just sit there and not do anything? You're going to provide liquidity? Are you going to get into a pool of the validators? Do you know of another project that's coming out where you can use your Pulsex to stake in that project for some type of yield? Is there a yield farm that excites you? Are you into arbing? Hey, by the way, if you are into arbitrage, hey, let me know. I'd be curious to talk to you. They're super interesting stuff, to me at least. So, appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. And if you want to jump over, I should have a Telegram set up pretty soon. So if you want to come over to Instagram and look at fitness related stuff and ask questions and all the fitness related stuff, just like this is on the fringe of society, like crypto, there's the fringe of society and fitness when it comes to performance enhancement, right? So whether that is related to sex stuff, whether it's related to muscle building, dropping fat, you want to get tan, healing different things that the doctor's not going to know about, all different peptides, all this crazy different compounds available. If you like that kind of stuff, check out Instagram or my other YouTube channel. There should be a video coming up here. Peace.